picks. Snapping at his heels is Pino.
Yep.
And snapping at Pino's heels is STK. Not quite snapping, quite a few behind, but still
8 kills behind, yeah.
in the picture. Scary stuff to see, you know, some of the highest performing opening kill players inside of the same lobby now facing off against one another. It's a stat that we know NiP to be good at, and it's somewhere that Santos have proved themselves good at, and particularly yesterday. So there could be a lot said today in this game on how that opening engagement goes.
Here's a good little talking point. For Santos to have such great players at getting opening picks, why are they sitting 9th? If they have such an important stat that we can see be a make or break if you lose a round or win a round, why are they still not getting wins on the board? Why is that?
They've got a poor ability to close it out. That's the biggest problem.
It is very similar to what we've seen at Invite with a lot of the APAC teams. The APAC teams were great at getting opening picks, but then they just couldn't capitalize on it. If Santos can do that and get the opening pick constantly, and they're having the same issues where they can't close it out, NiP are a team where if you give them anything at all to clutch, they'll do it. All 5 of those NiP players have had incredible clutches throughout their careers, and that's what they're known as. It's a team where it doesn't matter what position you're in, you're never safe. This could be a very favorable matchup for NiP. If Santos cannot capitalize and cannot execute onto a bomb site appropriately, NiP will have this all day of the week.
Let's see how this game kicks off then. We do have NiP starting off on the defense here. It is, of course, a favoured side for Villa. The bans, Thatcher, Valkyrie, being removed by NiP, and then Santos come in with the Monty and the Mirror. All great bans. Monty is regularly played by NiP.
Panic Monty.
It's a bit of a panic Monty. Sometimes it comes out in times of no panic, but more than likely it's usually brought out by Julio when they need to try and get a little bit of information on the board. But still, fair bans, I think. NiP are banning the Valkyrie, which is a really big move because it's someone that they use quite extensively, and instead Pino is going to be opting for the Pulse, trying to find out that early information, figure out where this push is coming from nice and early. And you know what? A great map to play Pulse on.
It is. A lot of information, a lot of vertical destruction you can get. Just have to come back to the Monty ban again. I think it's great. I think we've seen a little bit of information to feed to players like Pino, like Muzi, who in my opinion are the second best duo in the game, only behind Olu and Nesk. Not by a lot, but still behind them nonetheless. Can be terrifying. So I think Santos have really hit the nail on the head and really banning strong characteristics that we know NiP have up their sleeve. In terms of NiP in the defense, I think they're playing into the bans correctly also. Without the Valkyrie, you need to have some form of information on Villa. It's a massive map. You need to know where people are coming from. That's Repulse can be a great selection. Obviously, Couch's going to be a given for, I think, both sides and nearly every single bomb site we see here today. So, overall, no real surprises in my books anyway.
NiP choosing to kick things off downstairs inside of the kitchen. A relatively direct approach here from Santos. They're not actually opting to...
we don't know what he's looking at. I don't know if that is a new feature. Did we miss that in the patch notes? I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm sure he's looking at something, because Pino wouldn't just be staring at the wall for no reason. There we go, get Rise. He's going to fall first as Julio is in the position to take him on out. STK does not manage to land his shots there, and Pino punishes him for it. Cons is still just going to be holding on to Psycho. The bottom of those astronomy stairs leading down towards the basement. NiP really only interested in holding on to hard angles here. MGN, he finds some sort of an entry, but is it going to be enough here? There's still so many battles to be fought. Cons, he's going to take down Kamikaze. Pino puts some good shots in onto him, and Muzi's there for the cleanup. Psycho, the next player to be getting chunked on down, but it is all coming up Muzi as he proves dangerous once again. Putting that P10 Ronin to very good work. Hunter, a little bit of a shoulder peek. A lot of sight was open at that moment in time. Always going to be very difficult. There's only so many angles to hold, and there were still 3 players for NiP alive.
Santos with a very strange approach. They tried to go in through China, and that was it. Nothing else, nothing more. A single doorway is what they built their whole hopes and dreams on, and that is a kind of foundation that can easily be kicked underneath you, and that's exactly what happened. NiP, I don't think, could ask for a better way to start things off. They read the situation extremely well, using that pulse to feed the information, and then utilizing some of the roamers they still had. So yeah, nice job from NiP. Santos, bit of a head-scratcher of a round from them.
No vertical control. It's always a bit of a weird one. You know, it's such a mainstay. It's very commonplace to get in and find that vertical, you know, get the vertical control, clear out the roamers, gain a kill or so, and start to work on through. And I mean, that's a great advert side of that round. You know, you try and attack that bomb site on the same level, and you just greeted with far too many angles to be checking. You need that pressure coming in from the vertical to really upset the defenders. And NiP really didn't seem pushed at all inside of that one.
No, they didn't. It was, like I said, quite comfortable for them. Now they're going to move up to the trophy statuary. Not the Aviator Games. It looks as if the NiP are going to try and do the bomb site rotation in reverse. They're trying to be fancy, Ollie. They're trying to show a bit of style. Who does this in reverse? What lunatic does these bomb sites in reverse?
It's certainly a good way of trying to catch people off guard. You know, you're not expecting to see Kitchen first, and if you do, you're like, oh, they'll probably go to AVG, and then they don't. They go trophy statuary, so...
Keep them thinking. Always keep
really
on their
keeping
toes.
Santos on the toes, but I don't think the lineup's changed all too much. They're not going to be too dumbfounded at the way that things are playing out here. It influences the spawns more than anything, but in terms of what is actually brought, doesn't really matter. Pino is bringing the heat, as he is not afraid to get a little spawn peek out, and MGN is going to fall. An early death, especially for the Zofia.
Good pick for NiP. A lot of utility that we know Zofia can really enable some of these attacking lineups. Clear shields. I think the stuns are going to be great for the site executes. I think with the popular rise of Aruni gates also, you need some form of kind of burn. So yeah, certainly Zofia, a rough one to lose. NiP are very, very focused on a lot of the projectile denial. They have every operator that can deny nades, flashbangs, you name it. They have it. They have a Wamai, they have a Jaeger, they have an Aruni. Santos are going to really struggle to utilize their heavy utility lineup with a lot of these counters coming in from NiP. NiP have played perfectly. I think the banning phase was great from both sides, but I think the picking phases from NiP both times have been fantastic.
STK, certainly a player that was on fire yesterday. There's plenty of time for him to get involved here and now, but in the meantime, no frag grenades to his name. It was something that he was put into great use yesterday in terms of getting those kills from below. Rise is going to be attempting the same here, but we can see that there is going to be nobody above. Unless he's going for a little bit of utility. The yellow ping does come through, so he knows where he needs to be. He is going to be able to remove the Electroclaw, but Kamikaze is in position to replace. There's a chance that that Ixcaros pellet doesn't detonate in time. Oh, it will be open. Kamikaze does take a bit of damage, but Pino, he catches cons, just stood in front of the breach. Those holes work both ways, and Pino thanks you for opening that and giving him yet another opportunity. SDK now on the flank. Came dangerously close there to the player at the top of red, but instead chooses to dip on off. Rethinks and goes for another attempt. The C4's ripped. He takes Kamikaze by surprise. Hunter in the bathroom, dealing damage
Diffuser
as
cold.
well. The diffuser is going to be cold, and that's going to make things pretty difficult, especially
Oh,
Pino's
no.
watching it, lining up perfectly. Pino's on
Go
fire.
on.
He's going to find it. Cleaning things up there for NiP.
Ah, great positioning from Pino in the end. Pino and Muzi, Ollie, stepping up big time in these opening 2 rounds. Santos, they did well, Ollie, I think, to really battle back from that 5 versus 3 deficit. But the time was against them. The utility was not there. The information was gone. And NiP, you're never safe, Ollie. Even in that scenario, you are not safe.
Pino got an ace from one room. He got an ace from Astro.
Classic.
I think he may have dipped into trophy.
He dipped in the trophy at the end there, didn't he?
He used the rotate, you know, it was still, you know,
a 2-meter distance. Yeah.
Unbelievable. So yeah, and bad timing, you know, on the side of Santos. It's so unfortunate for both of you players to line up in that exact moment. There's questions to be asked. Why were both players just sprint walking on through?
Panic for the diffuser, I think, because they knew they didn't have it, and
panic on time. Yeah,
that's just a human reaction, I think, isn't it? Whenever you, obviously in Siege, whenever the time starts to tick down, you get some like scary dramatic music in your ears, and it kind of makes your brain think, I need to do something, and that's kind of what happened to both of them. You just get tunnel vision, you get caught up in the moment, but NiP punished them for that. So anywho, NiP, now they move to that Aviator and game side. Santos will know that it's going to be this Bombsite, unless they were expecting a living room, which doesn't really exist on Villa. Nobody goes living room. That's a bit of a suicide Bombsite to go to most of the time, so Aviator's always going to be your go-to for the defense. NiP, again, changing up their lineup just a little bit. They're bringing in the Banshees. They're bringing in the Melusi. I mean, that's always going to be a strong operator to have on this Bombsite whenever you're really kind of pressured into holding towards the trophy and statuary side now. I think areas with the kind of trap metas that you can bring, you know, maybe Legion Mines, obviously Banshees, they can be a great addition just to give you a little bit of info. Already, the first trade comes in, Muzi will find STK. STK trying to go for those crouch walks again, Ollie. And that's where I think FaZe went wrong yesterday. They allowed STK to just simply walk up staircases. NiP, they've analyzed that, and they're not letting him do that today.
Oh, NiP will have been all over that VOD from yesterday and figuring out how they can not only improve from their game versus Liquid, but what play styles and what things Santos were bringing. And the STK crouch walk and slow walk was a staple. It was something that we saw every single time. He's playing on the Nook as well, this time on the Iana, so not as sneaky, not as dedicated toward that crouch walk role. You've still got a couple of tasks that you need to complete on Iana, but still, it is a play style that will not fly against NiP as they shut that down straight away, and I'm sure that that'll be a main focus for them in the early parts of these rounds, and maybe hence, you know, bringing things like the Melusi just to slow that down a little bit.
Santos, certainly taking their time just to make sure the drone work is correct. NiP, they've fallen off. They've dropped back to the safety of the bomb site. Still have plenty of utility, Ollie. They have Toxic Babes. They still have that Banshee. That's going to be tricky to eliminate. Rice does have one nade, though, but there's two Banshees in the same area, Ollie. You can see the one kind of default on the match table. Then you also have that one on the left side of the door. So even if you want to use your utility to eliminate one, there's no way you're expecting a second one.
It's a great use of the utility as well, because they've become a little bit more expendable in the fact that they're easier to destroy. You can double them up and really just catch people off guard, especially when you're in the final 29 seconds. It's going to make things very difficult indeed. You think that you've burnt the Banshee, and in fact there's one that still remains. Would cause some significant problems. Now the wall has been opened and there is a line of sight that can now be held. 15 seconds left remaining. There's not a great deal of time. A nice vertical kill comes in from Rise. Dino does have a C4 in pocket, so he may be able to get something on here, and he's eventually going to go for it. He leaves it late, but with only 2 seconds left, it is very unlikely that this will go down as a plan. But Santos storm on through and find those last couple of kills. Not a lot of time left on the clock, but all it took was a couple of frags.
NiP, almost letting that diffuser go down, which is surprising. They have smokes, they have C4s. I think it was 0.4 seconds or something like that, Ollie, before the diffuser was planted. So definitely cutting it close, but I think they kind of got caught up knowing that the diffuser's going down and down and down. And I don't know, maybe there's a moment where all of them thought they had to go for the kills. I will say, though, the kill onto Julio using the vertical angles in the bottom of the main stairs was a massive kill. The fact that you eliminate that one player on site with that C4, it then kind of gets into an advantage for NiP. They're feeling a bit unwary now because they've lost the C4. That's an extra person that they now have to deal with. So yeah, great pickup, and I think that was a big swing. Big swing of a player kill.
It was very reminiscent of the round that we saw yesterday between Liquid and NiP, where it was really unclear right up until the end where the final kill was gonna, where the round was gonna actually end, because it really seemed as though Santos ought to have run out of time there, especially with the plant being stopped. But NiP just getting caught out in that game of chicken of when do you deny the plant from going down? Do you wait as long as humanly possible and then hope that Santos aren't in position to refrag and to find kills? Or do you go for it a little bit earlier and then look to try and hold on? And Santos were happy to play that game of chicken there, and they came out on top.
Back into kitchen now for NiP. This was a bit of a strange one from Santos. It was a direct China take, which we never really see. Ever, because it just doesn't work, which I think was displayed quite well by Santos. Pushing one door, you're just going to get choked up. You're going to get bottlenecked in, and that's exactly what happened to them. Hopefully, they will be able to spread out a little bit more. The fact, Ollie, that we're seeing some players maybe move in towards study and try and sweep across the top floor. They're leaning in towards the vertical game. STK up to his old tricks, Ollie, trying to find that opening pick early on. And I don't think Pino realizes how close he was to being shot in the back.
Psycho going to be holding on to that vertical as well, but STK has already been able to take up such a large portion of control. He's just not got his team in position to assist him. There's all the chance that he gets caught out on the heartbeat scanner as well. Julio is going to be hiding out inside a site. It seems as though he's got an inkling and puts a shot into the shin of STK, but he's only going to deal a marginal amount of damage still. STK's position is known as he actually moves his way on upstairs, takes down Psycho. It's a strange old way to go about the roam clear, is to move in through living room library and make your way into astronomy, but it's worked out there and it's freed up MGM. He's now got the space to move through to take that control. Pino, he's going to be gathering a lot of information here on the scanner, and so much of that floor is going to be destructible. So only a matter of time until we get a C4 flying through.
Looking for a potential rip. Nope, just keeps in the back pocket. Julio, angle position. Anyone ready for it? Looks as if that maybe MGN has a feeling that somebody was playing there, and he was I think a bit of a slow player yesterday, Ollie. That's definitely, I think, the way to sum him up. Didn't have the greatest of games, had some moments, but for the most part was fairly silent in the lobby. Cons will find a kill. He was a good player yesterday. Definitely one to watch out for. So a 3v5, NiP have slipped away that lead. Nope, there's a C4 kill back, and Julio also now 3 versus 3. NiP have battled back with some big kills. MGN cannot land the shots with the LMG. Kamikaze finds MGN from the vertical action. Julio getting pressured in sight. He shuts him down, and that's a 1 versus 1. Muzi up against Hunter. Hunter had a massive double kill moments ago. Can he find his third? Does he have a feeling Muzi's around the corner? Yes, he does! Hunter goes hunting, and he catches NiP by surprise. Massive play from Hunter, and Santos equal things up, 2 rounds apiece.
Hunter hitting him with the drive-by there. He had a bit of information as well. A nice Z-ping coming out at the perfect moment, allowing him a little bit more surety as to where that pre-fire needed to land. Hunter seemingly never in any doubt that he was going to be able to pick that one up as he casually swings the corner. Great round there from Santos. Much better control of that vertical. I commented at the time it was a strange way to go about it. We saw STK, you can see him here, peeking up those astronomy stairs. He shouldn't have been allowed to do that. You know, that route that he took through living room library up astronomy stairs it's just not a normal route to take. It's not the way that you go about clearing that vertical, but it worked out for him. It was something a little bit unexpected. It was a little bit unorthodox. And Santos had much different focus and intention in attacking that round as a whole. And I think it's not quite rattled NiP, but it's certainly given them something to think about.
Yeah, NiP was stunned. It was a round that I think Santos have really refined there. That's what we expect from them, is to play that vertical game. I think MGN probably could have asked a little bit more from him. I think it should have been a definite kill onto Julio on the position that he was in, but just let things slip. mean, NiP almost having that round back in their favor was also incredible to see, but still, Santos will take that round. They've kind of learned from the mistake that they went for last time, and that was a much better take. Now we move on to the trophy and statuary. This, again, Ollie, was... or sorry, I should say, Aviator Games. This, again, was a bit of a Bombsite where you kind of questioned NiP. You know, they had plenty of denial, and they just kind of let Santos walk in and take gunfights. So I think NiP may be lacking a bit of information. Still not going with information, though. They're still relying on kind of very heavy utility dump, where they're bringing the denial, they're bringing the Wamai, they're bringing the Ironic Gates for the projectiles. They still have C4s, they have smokes. NiP haven't really changed much in terms of their approach for this Bombsite.
I think that NiP are really feeling the effects of the Valkyrie ban that they put into place. Valkyrie is an operator that is so synonymous with NiP, and there's multiple people that'll play it. You know, Psycho, Pino. It really isn't limited to one person's role, and I think it's that information game that NiP are struggling with. They tried to fill the gap with the Pulse, but it just doesn't do the same thing. It locks Pino into that heartbeat scanner, and he has to actively be searching for people, as opposed to throwing the cameras out there and then having, you know, your 4 teammates assist you in manning those cameras throughout the portion of the round. So there's certainly a lack of intel, I think, for NiP here, as they have shown that they've been weak to things like STK's little crouch walks up. You know, that's something you've got to be aware of, and you've got to try and look to deal with that. It's going to be Rise this time to make his approach. He's on those east stairs, he's at the halfway point, and he's just pushing through. Especially with STK underneath, we know how much damage you can cause with those grenades, and he may just be waiting for a couple of pings to come on in.
Santos, 5v5, 50 seconds to go. They need to work quick, Ollie, if they want a successful round win. Rise is looking for the crouch walk up in towards red. STK looking for some nades, and that will down Pino. A great nade to kick things off. Obviously, they won't know that he's been downed. Still good damage being done, and NiP need to do a little bit of moving around. Psycho and Moose are going to try and hold on to that main stairs and study as best as they can. Kamikaze opening below him, but he's in a safe position. Nobody's looking to go below. Cons walks straight in, misses the kill onto Muzi. Is he where there's one more? No, he's not. Psycho will capitalize. Rise will, with the second nade, eliminate Muzi. MGN kills Psycho. Now it's a 3 versus 4. Santos will go for the defuse on towards Maps. The C4 gets tossed out, but no, it does not connect. And Julio, stuck in a clutch position, will find one, but he is under so much pressure. So many angles to check. One in towards Study, has that breach open. Julio takes a lot of damage. One towards the door as well, but no, cannot find his man. STK on a sliver of HP, but he's still alive and he's still kicking. 25 seconds, Julio. What can he do? Doesn't know which way to look. Rise is also backed off. The correct decision, playing it patient. Santos don't need to move an inch. All they have to do is hold their crossfires, and they will win this round. I think Julio has realized this, and STK even goes for the ego challenge and finds that kill nonetheless. Santos, another round. That's 3 in a row, Ollie.
On the attack on Villa as well is very impressive. Santos really focused on getting that plant down, this time coming in with a little bit of adaptation, a little bit of change, and more pressure onto the C4 throwers inside of games as they're trying to get the plant down inside of Aviator. Really nice little changes there. They spent a good deal of time clearing out that main stairs. That's an area that we know NiP to play quite heavily. They're very fond of the main stairs with the deployable shield, bringing Wamai and really making good use of that. Nice nade that came through to really kick everything off there, as well as these nades thrown from below. The players that can master that craft and the players that understand how much time a grenade has until it explodes, and the travel times and everything that's involved with making those intricate plays, they're the ones that are seeing a lot of success at the moment, because there's so much pressure on ADSs and WAMIs and things to remove grenades that throwing them from below is just becoming increasingly more effective. And it's something that Santos have got down to a bit of a fine art, I'd say, at this point. And it certainly gave them the opening that was required inside of that round. And from there, able to execute on.
Final defense for NiP. So yesterday, Ollie, it was a very defender-sided Villa that we witnessed, where Team 1 and W7M just didn't really get their attacks scrubbed up. Santos, though, 3 attacks for them. So definitely breaking the mold that seen Villa kind of set forward yesterday. I wonder if a 4-2 could work for them. I wonder if they could try and take that one. It will be in towards a quick rush. All of a sudden, they're inside of the site. Trophy and Statuary has been obliterated by Santos. NiP are trying their best to hold their own. Pino in such a difficult position. There's a man right beside you, Pino. And he had no idea there's a kite still inside a statue. Kamikaze trying to take them on. An Ash Diffuser called. C4 be tossed out to try and break the distance. There's another man pressured in towards bedroom. Hunter has an Runegate, though, on his doorframe. Doesn't want to move in. Rise lurking outside a wolf. Hunter takes the plunge, and it works out for him. Kamikaze goes down. Julio with a refrag. A 2 versus 2, and there's only been a minute gone. What has happened?
A very explosive start here from Santos. But now the pace and the energy is slowly dripping out of this. Julio gets an opportunity onto MGN. Julio can't really be taking any out-and-out gunfights and is instead just trying to hold angles. The diffuser has now been recovered, and under the cover of Rise, it will be going down. Julio detonating the Toxic Babe canister, trying to provide, again, that more of a distraction. Rise shuts Julio down. It was only 1 bullet, and that bullet has landed. Muzi, he now has to try and push on through. He's going to have a call out, and he's going to have an idea as to where these 2 remaining players are, but by no means has he got solid information. Can you land your shot? Just tickles onto the player, dealing a little bit of damage onto Rise. Rise has since retreated. He's got himself a deployable shield on Astronomy Stairs, and he is very happy to stay there for the duration. Muzi pushes his way on through, the narrow angle being held. The deployable shield just too powerful to give up. Rise knew as soon as he got that angle he was going to be locking that round in for his team. Santos, what a split on the attack on Villa. They come out 4-2.
What a last round. My word. I'm gonna need to go back in and rewatch that one, because I don't even know where it I think it stemmed from Pig Window. I want to say it stemmed from there because they were in trophy pretty darn quick. Just a rush that has completely caught NiP by surprise. Just completely caught them. The fact that there was gunfight still being won on Bombsite is also incredible. I really don't know how NiP kind of stay in that for so long. I've seen so many times where teams have just been rushed out, Ollie, and they've just been slaughtered. They've had no chance, and it's been like a flawless rush. Doesn't happen for NiP, though. Still keeping it as close as they can, but that means nothing. If they don't win the round, they don't win the round. 4-2, Santos. 4-2 on an attacking Villa as well. Great stuff.
Impressive stuff. And it's something we regularly say, that we see teams try and pull something on the last round of whatever it might be. You know, the first round of the game is always a good opportunity. The last round of a half is always a really good opportunity as well. I know that it's something that we've seen regularly throughout various different leagues inside of Siege, and it just keeps that unexpectedness, you know, it keeps that in the picture, and it keeps your opponent on the toes. And honestly, it's a classic NiP. NiP regularly in stage 2 came in and had the most aggressive round 1 you've ever seen, that then would be backed up by really considered gameplay, and they would sort of shelve that, get it out of the system, then play the rest of the round as normal. And that was kind of no different. Ooh, early engagement here as STK and Pino are both kind of going at it. STK was on the spawn peak, and Pino was pre-fired onto the window. Neither player dead, but still both a little bit maimed in that altercation. By no means the aggressive starts that we were witness to in round number 6 demo.
Yeah, certainly not. I mean, looking at how Santos was set up, Ollie, they are ready for, I think, NiP just having quick control. They've completely forfeited anything at all towards statue and trophy, which is usually not the kind of go-to. A lot of teams will reinforce some walls on the triple wall in towards bedroom, maybe play some ADSs here or there, just to kind of give the enemy team... Oh, we're holding this, by the way. You kind of need to do some clear-outs. So they just completely gave NiP all control, because they're all about...
What a C4.
Right. I mean, I've seen that lined up a few times, but for that to successfully work, it is always a sight to see. You just line up against the pool table, and there goes a nade, bounces off the Clash Shield, and that will eliminate the Goyo, though, which I think is actually what NiP were fishing for, was to eliminate those shields. And NiP, a triple kill in the space of 5 seconds now. It's gonna be a 2 versus 3, kinda a 1 versus 3 in a sense, Ollie, because keep in mind, it's a Clash, doesn't have a good gun, only really has the shield.
A round that was really looking locked in for Santos, as quick as you like, has fallen away. Rise not in position to be taking those long-range engagements as well, given he's only got the SMG-11 and the shotgun. NiP have a lot of time to work with now, and Kamikaze is going to use it to get himself into his drone. There is a C4 left, which will fly on out, but I believe it gets stuck in the top of the wall. Never ideal. It wasn't the last hope for Santos, but it's something that really could have brought this back into an equal 2 versus 2. As it stands, 40 seconds left. Still drone work being done. NiP don't want to leave anything to chance here. They need to find out where these last 2 players are, and they need to formulate a plan. For all that there is only 1 active gun available on Santos, Cons still has the opportunity for the pistol and the opportunity for the shield. And if NiP funnel into one direction, then they really could come up against some obstacle. We're now starting to see them push in through this map's doorway, but one at a time they go. Muzi eventually comes in with the final 2 kills. Santos lining up there a little bit too much. Not a lot that they could have done about that one. A close round, but one that NiP managed to get over the line.
That's a good round for NiP to get himself back in. Very clean, very convincing in terms of how they won that round. I think if you look at the setup from Santos, it was... You're pretty inventive. I haven't really seen people try and hold the top of red stairs using the Clash and the Goyo shields before. But I just think the sheer amount of utility back in. We'll see how this game will finish off. 4-3. Santos still lead NiP with the first attacking win of their half. And I have to scrub up my Portuguese, Ollie. Because I'm looking at the bomb site, I'm like, what is that? Ah, statue trophy.
You see, you get used to that.
Do you know all the bomb sites at this stage? Do you know all of them in Portuguese?
I can't read it, but just through like recognition of word shape and all that, yeah.
The shape of the words.
No, but you know how you get to a point where you don't read anymore, you just look at something and you know what it says.
That's like saying I can only read like symbols. That's what that's gotten to. Which, to be fair, is essentially what letters are. Letters are symbols, aren't they? Yeah, that's true. I don't know why I said that.
But yeah, you do get used to it. It is always a little bit off-putting at first, and the thing that's even weirder, and anybody in the chat can confirm this, that if you've ever watched the regular stage and then you watch the finals, the LATAM League finals, everything's in English. So you go from playing the entire regular stage where it'll say like round 1 and all this sort of stuff, and all the names will be, you know, in Portuguese. You then go into the finals and it's like everything's just back in English, and that's very jarring. You sort of get to the point and you're like, oh yeah, like that is a thing.
NiP, maybe a rush of their own, Ollie. Look where Muzi is. He's straight in towards Pantry. A Lion Charge will try and help him out. They're looking to really obliterate the man playing below and hunt him down as quick as they can. Double drones also being moved in. Hunter, he better get out of there, and he will do just that. Another Lion Scan will go in, but he's not worried. He is out of there. So that's Kitchen taken at least. Very, very swiftly done by NiP. The fact that they've went for that approach, Ollie, immediately tells me Nade City from below.
Really could be something that they're trying to do here. They've got 4 grenades between them. Muzi and Kamikaze there are going to be the players that you want to keep an eye out for those grenade kills. And for all that it was a sort of a scary approach and a lion scan and all these sort of things, it's resulted in map control, but it hasn't resulted in a kill. And that's something that NiP needs to start brushing up on, is that opening engagement, because even if it does go in their favor, we've sometimes seen the rounds that then, as a result of that, they still struggle to try and close. Now, that was on the defense, now they're on the attacks. They still need to set the bar for all intents and purposes here. Drone work continuing upstairs, as Moosey's going to be able to call Master as clear, and likely bathroom as well. But Hunter is on the periphery and he's ready to swing onto that Master door if required.
Lots of phase being tossed out in towards that bathroom area. just try and keep anyone from NiP approaching too soon. Santos, not entirely sure where they want to go. A retake downstairs in towards kitchen. You see two of them moving their way down towards red. Wonder if they're going to commit to that. Grenade being tossed in. That will hit STK on his noggin and explode him into Kingdom Come. That's a great pick. That's Astro Man dead. And now NiP know they have that control. Oh no, Psycho! What was that? Repel and Rise get a freebie. NiP getting carried away a little bit. Maybe being caught up in the limelight. Kamikaze tries to push in. He will be supporting him on Astro. Two people will be supporting him on Astro stairs now. As Rise is going to be in for a bit of a shocker whenever he sees free faces all of a sudden appear out of nowhere. Muzi holding on to that bedroom door, trying to hold the crosses. Rise is going to be prone. They know exactly where he is. Kamikaze moves straight in for the defuse. Julio will find one. Rise still alive, causing issues. Now a 2 versus 1 as Julio will find the last. Oh, Julio out of nowhere with a shotgun. My oh my.
Scrappy round indeed, as we really saw the power of those healing stations coming into use there. Santos just being able to juice themselves up regularly enough and keep themselves topped. It was kind of a battle of the healing as well, because we have Muzi flooding in at the last second with that stim as well. It was really about which team had the most hit points, and so much so that SDK is actually going to switch off the Mozzie onto the Thunderbird again. We're going to get that opening grenade kill. Fortunately, SDK actually got that Toxic Babe canister off, but Rise was really the star of the show there, finding those last couple of kills. Julio just not managing to close that final kill before the timer hit 0 again. The clock really playing mind games there with just how long that round is allowed to go on for after the 0 mark, but ultimately Santos currently sits at 5 rounds to 3. They're going to take us over in toward Aviator and Games.
Oh, right. This has been just way too close. I mean, Rise, for me, Ollie, this game has been a standout player right now for Santos. He's really stepped up his game today massively. Look at him, Ollie. 8 kills, 5 deaths at the moment. Top performer, actually, in the lobby. I mean, I would say nearly everyone is fairly similar. I wouldn't say there's been a breakaway star. It's only we get games, Ollie, where it's like one guy on like 16 kills and everyone else is like nowhere near him. We're not really having that, and I think that always kind of displays that it's just a good game of Siege.
I think the only person that you could look toward for, you know, that's maybe not hitting the match average is maybe somebody like Psycho, currently sitting 2 and 7. And there's nobody that down on the side of Santos. Everybody is fairly equal. You know, we've got a spread of kills between 8 and 5. So everyone really providing fairly equally for the team. But Psycho just struggling to get himself in and amongst the kills. Obviously, Siege is a game that goes beyond just the noticeable actions on the scoreboard, and the other information and the other things that you do within the round are valuable, but if you're losing your gunfights and a lot of it is coming down to those last second engagements, you do need to be winning them. If not, you've got to change strategy and you've got to change tact. See the Goyo shield burn to the top of the east stairs there. MGN just conscious that somebody could be pushing him from below. That somebody is going to be Julio. He doesn't have any footprints to track, but a lion scan's going to root him in place. MGN could be getting pushed here from multiple angles. He's going to find one. Can he find the second? No, just manages to take out Psycho before being refragged out.
Yeah, Julio will pick up the pieces. Psycho just tried to do anything he could to find that kill. Like we mentioned, having a rough game, and it's not getting any easier for him. 2 and 8 now. SDK with a swing will be punished. Muzi finds that, man. He is on a sliver of HP, to be fair, but then again, I suppose he's thinking maybe trying to heal himself up just a little bit, but it's still not the greatest of HP situations to be in. They have the Maverick. Maverick can move in, open up that vault wall. It will deny a lot of the rotations that kind of creates a barrier that the defenders know they cannot get past. They have to respect that wall being opened. Kamikaze, maybe double thinking that, instead rotates over, looking for the plant, perhaps. Rise on the sofa, gets eliminated. The Toxic Babe also gets tossed out. Kamikaze, it's just one tick. He's happy enough to move back. Hunter has not been checked and studying. He's in a great position to deny the plant going in towards that mat store. We're seeing a rotate for Muzi over towards maybe study window, perhaps. With 15 seconds, I'm not sure where NiP want to play this.
Well, Pino won't be playing out this round as Cons takes him out. The shotgun is devastating as he's able to take down Kamikaze as well. Muzi falls in the meantime. Santos put themselves onto a match point here. Stunning performance so far. And NiP, I mean, what is going on with these guys?
I don't know. Time seems to be a big thing. They're not sure what they want to do. I'm surprised they didn't commit to opening the vault wall. I'm very, very surprised they're not going for that. Because in a sense, if you go vault wall, and then you have somebody pushing down in towards bar, the guy in study isn't going to have any impact. Like, the guy in study is there to specifically counter anyone wanting to push in towards maps. So if you just brute force your way in through vault, there should be no issues. So, I don't know, it's a little bit strange from NiP, and I mean, they've paid for it. That is now the second time in a row, Ollie, where they've dropped points.
You're right. Locks in points guaranteed for Santos. They've guaranteed themselves at least one. But I don't think that we would be given a fair account of the way that they've played so far if we weren't to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're going to come out with more than 1 point inside of this one. They've got 3 rounds now to close this match point out. NiP left trying to catch up, backs firmly against the wall here, as they really need to find some magic here in the next 3 rounds to try and level things up before even thinking of going into an overtime.
NiP, what can you do? It's been, very, very close rounds, Ollie, that really could have went either way in many scenarios. NiP, Lady Luck is not on their side tonight. See how Santos want to finish out this game, hopefully. That's what they have their eyes on. Walk away with massive 3 points, and their campaign is certainly shaping up to be a great one this split. STK looking for another opening pick. This time doesn't get it. This is an MX4 Storm, one of the best defensive weapons on the defense, and Muzi just slips his way in towards study. Oh no, STK has no idea. This should be an easy kill for Muzi. If he gets a little bit of information from the drone work, and he will get that. This will be a freebie for Muzi. Gives himself up to STK. What is happening? Both of them not wanting to commit to one another. E1D charge goes out, and in the meantime, STK has actually been left alone. He swings into study now. Ollie, what's going on? What is this?
You can certainly see the fear in NiP. They don't want to take that early engagement, and that's very uncharacteristic of them. Usually they manufacture a situation where they can just lock that one off, but they've been very timid. Half the round has been spent. Lion scans galore, so much so that Psycho has actually got none remaining. And they haven't really gained anything for it. They've gained the map control, but they've not been able to take anybody down in the process. So that would tell you that the roam game has worked. You've been able to waste the time and waste that utility. Now the pressure really starts to mount as STK has managed to retreat all the way back into sight and is now behind a deployable shield. MGN holding on to the doorway into Trophy, but he will be sat down, not before Hunter takes down Julio. The diffuser still in the capable hands of Kamikaze, as players on the side of Santos are now having to split up and drop back further, getting themselves in onto the site.
Santos have to try and stay alive. They still have a C4 in the back pocket from Hunter. I don't know if Rise could feed him out some information to try and snag a C4 kill. Hunter in towards Red. He's actually going to go for the long flank. Ollie, will this pay off for him? Will this work out? Muzi sat in living room, but nobody's over there. I don't really know what he's up to. Pino takes a bit of damage from said Hunter. It's down to Cons and Rise to hold on to the bomb site the best that they can. Hunter goes down. Now it's a 2 versus 4. Cons has the shotgun in hand. He can go massive in this scenario. That laundry is going to be a bit of a suicide pit. Oh, eliminates Psycho, but will get shut down from behind. Pino swings in, eliminates one, and now all 3 of them are entering in through a different doorway. And Rise, he doesn't have 3 guns to look at each door. He can only commit to the one. He will be finished off. NiP still in it.
Well, that's the start. That's exactly what NiP needed to try and force this one into an OT. I don't think the Santos are going to be too worried about the way that that round played out. They were still able to waste a lot of time in the early part of the round, and maybe if they'd have stayed for a little bit longer, they could have got something for it. But you certainly saw the reluctance from NiP and the recognizing just how much every single one of these rounds mean. I'm expecting max focus out of these 5 players, well, out of these 10 players, but even more so out of NiP, particularly into this one. This is really where the momentum could start to shift. Santos, every opportunity that slips by, you do start to question and wonder if they do have it in the tank, or if this is just going to be another game that drops off into overtime that they're unable to close out.
Okay, here we go. Copy statuary. NiP in their lineup. Have a Maverick as their hard breach, but Maverick is not good for this bomb site specifically. Opening up that triple wall is very risky whenever you can get C4 from below. And usually 9 times out of 10, if you try and Maverick open that triple wall, you usually get swung and killed from your own hole. So Maverick is not going to be reliable. So I'm thinking NiP might try and go for like the same Astro take they went for before. They have the nades. They have the utility to clear out anyone inside of Astro. So that is more than likely going to be their avenue.
Who's going to be entering in downstairs? Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Is that a miss drone? Or did Muzi just not even drone it at all? STK has got the crystal ball out for that one. He knew exactly where Muzi was going to be entering on through, and already has got himself back upstairs. NiP now chasing shadows. It's no good holding on to the staircase, Psycho. STK is already well out of there. Pino as well looking to try and clear up that kill. Not only is it an opening pick, but NiP, they're wasting tons of time again.
NiP has a big hit. That be the deciding factor of this round. Could be the deciding factor of the game. Time will tell. STK has done fabulously to get that pick. Julio, though, has found STK below. Psycho almost found a man on the red stairs, but he himself has slipped back up to the bomb site. MGN just okay, just lets him walk past, no problem, doesn't even shoot, doesn't give himself away. Maybe want to use that same angle whenever he comes back. Maybe that might be an option for him, but I'd say that's an opportunity that's gone missing.
Less than half the round remains. NiP still yet to get that control in and around the side. The drone work is beginning now as the Lion scan comes through. It's going to root people in place. Psycho with the hop, and he got a glimpse there of somebody inside of statuary. And Jen just playing at the top of those east stairs. Hunter ready and waiting with the C4, and it will fly out, but it doesn't hit onto its mark. MJ in a good position there to be able to watch onto that doorway, and it's going to give Hunter a little bit of security there as the line is opened inside of the wall. Lines of sight now for both teams to work with. Hunter just going to be playing pretty close. Doesn't want to give the game away just yet. You know, he's been allowed into astronomy. How has this happened? Another Lion scan. That's going to give Pino so much room to work with, but no, he gets shut down by Cons. Psycho with the swing over onto Hunter. Now fight is going to raid as Julio hits the backside. MGM there with the trade. Very important positioning. The diffuser in the hands of Kamikaze. MGM, you need to hit these shots, but no, Psycho. He's able to land one onto the head. Rise now 14 seconds, and he's going to try and keep this at bay. The plant is going down under the capable cover. I mentioned earlier about how Psycho had a bit of a quiet day, but he certainly made up for it there.
Oh, massive round for Psycho. Rough start today, but a good late game is where he's headed to. Massive performance from the Lion there. I believe, what, 3 kills that round, Ollie? A big 3 kills at that. Santos were looking in the driving seat for most of that round to finish it off, but NiP, like I said before, never, ever think you have that side beat if you're in a winning advantage. My oh my, Santos, you're slipping, starting to slip. NiP 1 round, and they are in to overtime territory. Can NiP do this again? Let's see how we move on now. We're ready to dive into our next Bombsite, which will be at Aviator in Games. For the most part, Santos had a rough time, but then again, so of NiP. You look back to the first time they defended up here. They tried to set up in towards that red stairs. They brought the Clash, which is making another appearance here today. So, certainly, if we have that same Clash play a little bit more, I would say aggressive, maybe try and find out some more information. I mean, Santos and their gun skill at the moment have looked pretty clean. Like I said, I've highlighted Rise a lot. I think Hunter has had a real standout performance. Some of the kills that he has had also. That could be great. STK, he's always going to be a bit of a menace, isn't he? Maybe he hasn't had the same flair to him as what we've seen against FaZe Clan yesterday, but still, making important kills count when they matter. You know, you look at the last round, had a very important opening kill onto Muzi. In hindsight, that didn't really matter, but still, he is always going to be there as a presence on the map that you need to deal with. The ADS is set up. Ooh, SDK almost lands a bit of a pre-fire onto the man rappelling up towards Pig window. MGN trying to use the vertical game. I do have some unfortunate news to hear, though, as unfortunately, Ollie, he's gone. Chunks, you're going to have to replace him.
Unfortunate news that I have to replace Ollie. Thanks for that one, man. Thanks
well,
for that,
actually,
Devin.
you know, it's good news. No, it's good news. No, don't say that. It's great news, Chunks. I'm so happy that you're here, and it's, you know, it's not Ollie.
Well, it's all good. If his internet's gone down, then it doesn't matter anyway. He won't hear what we're saying. Say what you want while we have chance.
Oh, well, wait. You can go back and you can watch this on the VODs after it's finished. Once if he does that, Chunks.
Well, never mind.
What happens if he leaves me?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He'll be back in no time, I'm sure. It looks like his internet might be getting back up soon, but it looks like I'm gonna have to fill in for the time being. So, wish me luck. I like what NiP are doing though. They are getting some really good info over on this attack already. Yeah. It's got to be said, demo. And unfortunately, though, it doesn't work out as Psycho ends up going down. It's going to be Riz that's there to get the opening kill. Nicely done, and this is a pattern that it feels like is happening so often for Santos. They get that opening kill, they get the opening damage, and it kind of puts NiP on the back foot. But the past few rounds, they've just been able to claw it back almost and be able to take them. So it's not over for them yet.
No, it's certainly not. I mean, the Clash is still here, and that's going to be a massive issue for NiP. They're going to need to throw every bit of utility that they have onto the Clash. But Cons, I think, quite wisely has just backed away, knowing that the nades will be following up after the ADSs have been burned up is always going to be a great decision. You still have MGL on these red stairs. This is such a great position for him to be in. He has that Clash feeding that information. I say that about MGN. He's just been blown up. Muzi hits a nade. But look at the time. Look at the time. 30 seconds has been wasted, and NiP are not in a good position. Santos can really run down the clock. They have that Clash, can delay a lot of time, can feed the information out. There's still a C4 in the back pocket of Rise to deny any chance of a plant. NiP need to do something quick because they are about to lose this game. STK will eliminate Pino. Julio pushing in from Study finds Hunter. 3 versus 3. Santos, all they have to do is just hang on. Hang on for dear life. Cons is stuck in a corner, but STK and Rise are there to save their resident Clash main. Kamikaze all by himself, but he stands no chance against the onslaught that is Santos on Villa. What a win for this side. The underdogs prevail. My oh my, Chunks. I'm gonna have to eat my words.
It looks like you have to. I mean, Santos just played that so well at the final seconds, using that Clash to just deny NiP anything that they could. As soon as NiP tried